Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 299.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you are new here, please say hello down below.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics. And every Monday, we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and X.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon. That way, every single time Joe's glasses are smudged and it's Cyber Monday, you'll be alerted to it. It's Cyber Monday.
It is Cyber Monday.
I did not even realize until 1 p.m. yesterday that we had rolled into December 1st.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no idea that December would happen. We hope that you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We truly had the most unorthodox Thanksgiving of our family's history, but it was such a peaceful, delightful, lovely time.
Yeah. So now, as far as Cyber Monday, I want to let you know today's video is sponsored by Perfect Keto. Perfect Keto still has their sale going on for Cyber Monday. There is a link down below. Highly recommend the MCT oil powder. I like their NOLA bars. So use the link down below. It's a tiered sale up to 50% off. The more you buy, the more money you save.
Makes sense.
Now, also, a lot of the companies are still holding their Black Friday deals through Cyber Monday. Like, for example, Keto Chow with the new salty flavors, carnivore bar. I may or may not have bought a bunch of those apple pie ones.
They're so flippin' good. It was like crazy good.
Yeah, the only thing I was disappointed about is the apple pie was not available in the 24 pack.
I know it. You have to buy them like 6 at a time.
6 at a time. So you don't get the 24 pack discount.
Right.
The one thing I would like to see, the problem is I know it creates a lot of work on their end, is I would like to, if Carnivore Bar happens to watch this video, I may even mention to him on Instagram, but I would like to see them do like a build your own 24 box.
Yes,
because
that would be
right
awesome.
now you can only buy 24 of a flavor. And it's like, I would have done the 24 and bought like, you know, some of the salted ones, some of the like zesty garlic ones, some of the honey salted ones, and then gotten the apple pie as a free box. But you have to buy 24 of only one flavor. And I like change.
I like change too, but since you're talking about the carnivore bar, we're definitely going to be stocking up on that because December 26th, we're going to start the Triple B and E.
You can eat the carnivore bar
course challenge. Yes, because the salted.
Only the salted. And the zesty garlic one.
Well, because it's just beef, tallow, and salt.
Yes.
Like you can't get better than that. So if you're thinking, what is going to be my grab and go option if you're joining us for Triple B and E, if it's not like the beef soup base one from, Keto Chow, you can grab the carnivore bar. That's going to be an easy way for you to have like a grab and go option.
Yeah, now if you're new here, welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we like to go through our social media networks and pull out questions and comments and highlight success stories. So if you're new here, the way we do this is when we're doing it live, we don't address the chat till the last 10 or 15 minutes. So if you have a question, hold off to the end or use the super chat function, which highlights our screen. It also benefits the channel, which we greatly appreciate. Also, this is episode 299.
Wow.
Episode 300 will be next Monday. It will not be live because we will be on the 2KK Getaway Cruise.
I'm so excited.
With a bunch of subscribers. We have 64 people going. Super, super excited about that. But what we're going to do is, because it's episode 300, I'm going to do a big giveaway of a bunch of Keto Chow. Because Rachel packed our house. The old house. And we have a lot of Keto Chow.
I packed up the entire house.
We're going to do a big, bundle thing.
When you talk about why do you go keto, we are building a house, which you had to work on and take in walls by yourself. How many walls?
I found a coupon for Home Depot for 10% off, but it expired on November 30th. So I'm like, and it was 10% off with a value of up to $200. So you start going, I want to get the most value out of this coupon. And so I was like going through all of our purchases. Like, you don't want to know how much money we've spent on this renovation so far. And it's nothing if compared to if you had to pay people to do it.
Right.
But so I'm like, well, I still need 40 sheets of sheetrock. That's about 500 and something dollars. And then I started going through different things that I've bought. And I'm like, well, what if I buy it and then return it with the old receipt? So I like the vacuum cleaner, the inside, like
Right.
all of that kind of stuff. So I got about $150 back, but it meant that the sheetrock had to be delivered and I was here by myself. And I had to carry in 40 sheets of sheetrock by myself upstairs. And I'm carrying them two at a time because I don't want to separate them because that protects the edges.
So you have to be strong. We have to be well enough. When you think about 10 years ago, you could not have done that.
No.
You certainly couldn't have put the entire day on your feet like that,
No.
carrying heavy things. For me, I, in 2 days, packed up a life, basically, like our lives. I had to sort, I had to have presence of mind, the mental clarity to be like sorting things, packing things, remembering where I put things, and carrying things. Can I just tell you that containers of Le Creuset cookware are not light? And you know how many kitchen gadgets that we have. So many appliances, everything was heavy. I was stacking boxes, making boxes, endless trips every single day, working until late until the night. And then, though, I had the blessing of getting to play a new board game. Well, not new on the market, but like new to our family, which is Villainous. Have you played that? It's a Disney game. Joe hasn't played it yet. I was playing it with the boys this weekend. And me and Caleb sometimes were up till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Nice.
Playing that game. It was so much fun. But I think about there's no way that we could have emptied out the cabinets and the furniture. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully our bulk
Yeah,
trash person does not quit today.
Tore down I brought the tractor back to Fort Lauderdale yesterday, and we used that to, I'm glad we have a grapple. We used that to tear down the old chicken coop and that kind of stuff. So let's move on. I did see, Sabrina said for
Hey,
Keto
Sabrina.
Chow, I know I could not find the big bag of the new donut Keto Chow, so I had to buy individual bags. Did I overlook the big bag? So no, new flavors only come in individual packs now.
Right.
Until they decide if they're going to ever bring it back. But it's a limited edition flavor, so like if there becomes a flavor that they're like, okay, this was an absolute winner and everybody wants it, like butterscotch, which we designed, then they'll bring it back possibly later in big bags. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But all new flavors only come in small bags. Now the salty you can get in the big bags.
Right.
So the new salty flavors. So.
Aren't you glad that it wasn't sardines or trout?
Yes.
It's the new Keto Chow flavor.
Let's start off with Keto Beyond the Couch. We're going to start off with this post right here from Trish.
Oh, Trish.
Trish said it might look like just a wee seashell, but what it represents is so much bigger than that. This is the first time in years that I'm able to walk on a beach, let alone stop to pick up a seashell. Thanks to God and keto, I am stronger every day in one way or another.
Trish, I'm trying not to tear up right now. I was bawling when I saw that post. That is so beautiful. And I think that we need to start taking mementos of these kinds of things. You know, when you think about like, what are we bringing into our new house? Like, I had to sort through those things. What do I keep? What do I throw away? And I love this idea, like just a tiny reminder. This is tiny. This can fit. You know what I mean? This can fit in your memories box. When you realize you're in the midst of doing something you could never have done pre-keto, or it's been a really long time that you've done it, you know what I mean? Let's take time to note that. Thank you for reminding us, Trish, about what it's all about. I mean, yes, weight loss and you've experienced like amazing, you know, gains in that area, but it's so much more than that. It's like what we're talking about, being able to do the things that we want to do. We want to move into this next chapter of our life. We have to be able to move the things.
Yeah. Okay, next one we have is from, there we go, Bob and Donna.
Hey, guys.
She actually had a couple of different ones, but I like this one because I like building decks. So my husband just finished a 14 by 35 deck thanks to the proper human diet. He was pre-diabetes 6 years ago.
Okay, my question is, can they come over here? Can,
I know, right?
Bob, can you come over here?
Yeah, she also had a picture of him up on the roof, cleaning the
Wow.
chimney. And that's the thing, is that when you look at like eating this lifestyle and getting healthy and getting rid of the diabetes, and eating what Dr. Berry calls a more proper human diet, it is amazing that the little things you get to do. I'm 54 years old. My birthday is on Friday.
Yeah.
And when I think about the fact that I'm rebuilding a house
At this
essentially
age.
by myself, right? Like
Mhm.
carrying all the sheetrock, all the lumber, building the walls. I mean, it's a lot of work. And there's no way I could have done this when I was over 300
I
pounds.
remember, years ago, we helped build a deck for your mom. And we had all three boys helping with that, and me and you. And it was like we could only work so long. There was so much stuff that we just couldn't lift. It was,
Carrying all the lumber.
oh my gosh, it was so bad and took us so long because we were so unwell. And that was when we were young, like 30s.
Yeah.
That was in the 30s.
Yep. Next one we have is from Angie.
Hey, Angie.
I talked to my meat manager today. Just a heads up, Publix around Christmas week of sales, we should have a rib roast on sale for $7.99 a pound. Not set in stone, but he is pretty sure of the price. This is the roast that can be cut into ribeyes or thinner for 2KK meat chips.
Yes.
Yeah, so we actually have a video, I think 2 years ago. I feel like we were doing some kind of beef butter bacon egg at the time, but it was a video of like what to do with 150 pounds of rib roast. And yeah, it is a great deal. Publix and a lot of grocery stores do this at Christmas time. They put rib roasts on sale because a lot of people eat it for New Year's.
That's right.
Or like around Christmas time, and they have rib roast. And it is great. Like if you have a little bit of extra cash, go get yourself 2 or 3 of those rib roasts, because you can cut nice big ribeye steaks. You can make a prime rib roast, or probably a choice rib roast, depending on which one's on sale. There's not a huge difference other than marbling. And
Plus,
by the way, grass finished, you'd never find prime.
they keep the ribs
They
too.
keep the ribs on, so we have a video on it. But what you do is they keep the ribs on, but they separate it, except for a little piece on the bottom. Take those ribs off, stick them in the oven, low and slow, and you'll have phenomenal beef ribs.
Oh, they're so good.
Next one we have is from Mel.
Hey Mel, help me out. I'm making a Christmas wish list for my family because I'm hard to buy for ever since I went keto and asked them to stop buying me chocolate. I have a few things on my list, but I think I need a few more so they have options. Hubby will most likely just take the kids to a shopping center and go off the list. Each kid will have a budget of $50, so about $30 US. So health related books. I haven't read fiction in so long that I'm not sure what I like anymore, but I definitely don't want smutty books. I love that. Or inexpensive kitchen tools, question mark. I have good knives and I have a lot of the basics.
Okay, so if you're looking for kitchen tools, and this is good for people for coming up for Christmas, inexpensive kitchen tools, things that I would recommend, things that we should probably put together a list, but I think are essentials in a kitchen, especially if you're eating more of like a ketogenic diet. Number one would be a stick blender.
Yes.
You can make your own mayonnaise. It's great for just quick mixing up of things if you're doing keto chows, things like that. Absolutely an instant rate thermometer. You can buy we had a link from the Black Friday sale.
$15
You can get them for like $15. Like nobody should not have an instant read pro thermometer where you stick it in there. Don't buy the cheapest ones on the market. I would either get ThermoWorks or ThermoPro. Some of the other ones I've tried them all. I mean, over the years, I've probably had like 20 of them, and ThermoPro is the best. And then after that, you can get or ThermoWorks is the best, and after that, get a ThermoPro. And we have links in that Black Friday sale. Some little things like that, I think are like great, like under $30 gifts. Different types of. I'm not a big fan of buying a lot of books, especially like health, like keto books, like recipe books, because so many recipes are online. If you like keto ice cream, I highly recommend Carrie Brown's keto ice cream book.
Well, and I like Maria Emmerich's book for cooking for kids.
That's a really good book. Sorry, I got a bunch of hair on my nose.
That's got a lot of good recipes.
Dr. Berry's new book, Dr. Berry and Kim Howerton's book for the new Labs book.
That's excellent.
Nisha and these are some other where the recipes are not online, like Nisha and Kim's cookbook. That's a good book.
it was interesting. So, one of the most beautiful things of the weekend is Caleb and I went over to Anthony and Sarah's new apartment to see all the Christmas decorations. I mean, Sarah's really gifted when it comes to decorating. So beautiful, everything. But he so generously made steaks for dinner. And so he was talking about setting up his pantry, like what he's learned and like setting up his kitchen, now that they're married and they have their own place. He was like, number one, Redmond real salt. And he has to have the thing where he doesn't want a shaker. He likes the thing that, you spread it. Number two was the instant read thermometer. He was like, that is a non-negotiator because of the fact that they are on a very fixed budget, as newlyweds are. So he's like, we don't want to take any chance with meat. It's got to be perfect every time.
We actually gave him a meter 2+.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to have that.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of those little kind of things, definitely like a little chaffle maker. They're like $20 for like the little mini, waffle maker, the Dash mini waffle maker. A jerky spreader, stuff like that.
I also like protective gloves.
Yes.
Because that's something that like you kind of forget, and then you want to cook and smoke and barbecue, and everything is like really hot. And if you're using like the traditional ones of like, kitchen mitts, oven mitts and stuff that you started out with, they're not enough.
No,
like you need like protective gloves.
Next one we have is from Ola.
Hey, Ola.
I learned a little trick from my sister yesterday for leftover whipped cream. What's that? Put individual servings in cupcake liners, freeze them overnight, take out the individual liners, store in a freezer bag. I've been one serving now in my keto hot cocoa, and cream isn't immediately melting in the cup like it usually does. So simple, yet it never occurred to me.
That never occurred to me either, Ola. That is freaking brilliant. Really good idea.
You can make little dollops. You don't even need, you would not even really need a cupcake thing. What you could do is, if you've got this whipped cream, if you've made up your own whipped cream, what you could do is literally just take a cookie sheet with parchment paper,
boop, 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 boop,
and
boop.
make a bunch of dollops.
Yeah.
And then you could probably actually keep to a serving size.
Just absolutely brilliant.
Next one's from Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
If we've done beef, butter, bacon, and egg before, so already paid, do we need to register anywhere to let you know we're going to do it again? No.
No.
So once you have the beef, butter, bacon, and egg, of course you have it for live, so whenever we're doing it, you'll get all the notifications and stuff. Also, I decided, because, some people get paid bi-weekly.
Yeah.
We're going to extend the beef, butter, bacon, and egg sale and the Mighty Network sale through this Friday.
That's nice.
Because I know a couple people we're getting paid on Monday and stuff like that. So that'll be through Friday. You have to use the links down below. A couple people have messaged me that they want to make sure they get the beef, butter, bacon, egg if they do the annual plan. To do that, you have to use the link down below, because that link gives you the discounted annual plan of $250 and automatically puts beef, butter, bacon, and egg in. If you don't use that link and then just go do it like in the course and separately, there's no way to do it, and it's a pain to try to do refunds because of the way the whole system works. So you need to use that link to get the annual plan, and then it automatically puts you into beef, butter, bacon, and egg. But but use the links down below if you're interested in that.
Joe, the only thing that I am not looking forward to the 2KK cruise about, can you guess what I'm not looking forward to?
I don't know.
The fact that there is a one coffee experience on the horizon. I have to be more conscious of how much coffee, and the coffee on the cruise is free.
Yeah.
So now you got me on two sides.
Wow.
You got my cheapness, and you have coffee.
You have a couple of weeks after that.
But it's like, I have to start weaning now.
Next one is from Angie.
Hey, Angie.
Does anybody remember what company uses dehydrated sugar-free marshmallows? I was in a Keto Crate unboxing with an Anthony video. I want to get some for stocking stuffers. So they're not dehydrated, they're freeze-dried.
Oh, that's the Chalk Zero one?
It's Chalk Zero. And unfortunately, Chalk Zero, I think they are having a Black Friday sale. They've eliminated their affiliate program, so we no longer have a coupon code
that
or anything
you can stack.
for them. But yeah, and they honestly, I think it was a recent Keto Crate video, and we had brought them up here, and though I'm not a big fan of like a lot of Chalk Zero products because they skyrocket Rachel's glucose, I actually am a fan of them, and they are pretty low in carbs, and that tub lasts a very long time. I think it is a great option if you want to put it in like hot chocolate or a hot salty. Do it as a mix-in and ice cream,
Christmas
things like
Eve
that. They
movies.
are a nice. They are good, and especially when if you actually stick to the serving size, that little tub will last you a long time. I highly recommend it for grandkids. Next one is from Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
I was diagnosed a year ago with osteoporosis and was then told to lose 20 pounds in order to get a badly needed knee replacement surgery. The same day, I enlisted a personal trainer and I met 2 times a week. In January of this year, I got serious about my 90% carnivore diet. I had a knee surgery last July and am now sitting at a 65-pound loss.
Wow.
I need to lose another 65, but I feel so good that I'm in no big hurry.
That is so
That's
wonderful.
awesome.
And really, truly, this is, keto is going to take so much of a burden, both in weight, but also in inflammation and giving you just like that health that you need, that helps you feel good on the inside and really works with any surgeries that you may need. You go keto, you may not eliminate the need for all surgeries in your life. You may still need a surgery
Right.
after keto, okay? Because so much damage was done, or we're at a place in our life where we need the surgery, right? That's not a criticism of our keto journey that we need surgery, right? We if we need surgery, we get surgery. But the recovery process in the physical therapy that follows a lot of these surgeries is made so much better by
And
keto.
sometimes it does eliminate. I know a lot of people who started keto to lose weight to get bariatric surgery, because a lot of times when you get bariatric surgery, the surgeon wants to see you lose a little bit of weight first on your own. And then they do so well, they never need the bariatric surgery. I started keto to lose weight knowing that I needed an ankle replacement. And then 6 months in, I'm like, I don't need the surgery. So
Pretty
you
awesome.
never know. Next one is from Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Question: does anybody know if clear lactose-free whey protein drinks are decent to use? I can't figure out about regular whey protein versus ISO type proteins. So saw a brand called One Up. Okay, so you have whey protein and you have whey protein isolate. You do not want to consume whey, just flat out whey protein. Okay, whey protein, like, so if you ever made our yogurt, that liquid that you drain off, that's the whey. That's the whey protein. The problem with whey is whey has a lot of sugar and carbs in it. That's where it is. Whey protein isolate has the sugar and carbs removed. The clear, I would stick away from clear whey protein isolate, which is what One Up sells. There's a few companies that sell it. There is nothing that shows that there is a benefit to this. Okay, there is really no research or anything shows that there is a benefit to it. And for me, I wonder, they say, the companies that make it claim that your body can absorb it better. That's what they claim. Okay? It doesn't taste that great, which is why so many of the companies like One Up will have like a lemon ice flavor. So now they're adding natural flavors and things to make it taste good, and it's clear. The way they make it clear is by adding heat to remove some of the things. So they're basically, it's like a denatured protein.
Okay.
I think you are better off. Number one, the best source of protein is going to be meat. Okay, I always tell people, like, if you want to do that as extra protein, that's great, but
Don't rely on
really
it.
things like even Keto Chow should not be your sole source of protein. I say all the time, and even Chris and Miriam, the owners of Keto Chow, said Keto Chow is not meant to be your sole source of nutrition. It's a meal replacement. Like, if you're busy on the go, if you want to do one meal a day, but it's really not meant. You can, but it's not meant to be your sole source of nutrition. But if you want to do a protein thing, I'm just get a whey protein isolate, get a milk protein isolate. But, there's a lot of different ones. I mean, I think that if you don't want to use Keto Chow, Equip is a really good one. Isopure is a really good, clean one. But I don't think there's any need to get into clear proteins because they're messing with that. It is now it really is at this point when they're doing that, it really is a manufactured food.
Well, and you'll notice that, the key is marketing. The key is just packaging it.
Right.
So I could say, like, I am making a package and I'm going to call it natural Oreo cookies.
Right.
Like, I just call it natural, and somebody is going to, think, well, natural must mean that they're using different ingredients than they're using in the regular Oreos, right? And I put
Right.
packaging that is people hiking and nature things and stuff like that. And so it's just packaged and presented in such a way that it must be
Yeah.
must be healthy, right?
Yeah, I mean, but when you look at they like, for example, One Up sells like a lemon ice flavor. So the only reason you'd be drinking that is to get extra protein. That's the only reason. There's no other nutrition in it. And though all protein powders and meal replacement drinks are technically manufactured foods, it's one thing to take away protein and just powder it so that you can mix it. Another thing to start adding heat and doing things to it to remove other stuff and to make it clear. It's just something that I personally would steer
I
away
still
from.
think that beef has one up.
Yes.
On one up, get it?
Next one is from Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
I made bacon jerky yesterday afternoon, but I forgot to take it out of the dehydrator. It's been at room temperature for less than 24 hours. It still smells good. Do you think it's safe? Yeah. So if you've dehydrated it, and in 24 hours, you're fine. Just because you have dried it out. You've removed all the moisture, which is the moisture is what will make the fat go rancid. Think about when bacon grease is completely safe to keep up on the counter. Right?
I threw out your container.
I know you did. You don't have to refrigerate that bacon grease for a few months. If you expose it to moisture and a lot of humidity over a long period of time, that fat will begin to go rancid. The worst thing that happens, that can happen with bacon grease, with tallow, with lard, with ghee, is exposing it to moisture. As soon as you add water to it, now you will have a problem with fat going rancid.
Can I have a kiss? We can start over.
We're going to start over.
We're going to start over. So
yes.
Thank you for not divorcing me, because I touched that thing and threw it out.
Next, let's go ahead and take a quick fade to black.
We're still married.
We are.
And I touched the bacon grease.
Next one is from Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
Now they are messing with our cow's natural digestive process. This feed additive is believed to reduce cattle methane emissions by up to 50%, was approved by food inspectors this week. The first time in Canada such a product has been given an all clear. So, yes. And this is kind of the title for today's video.
Is that why there's a cow butthole on the front of our video today?
So there is, I forget the name of the company and the thing, it starts with a B, that has come out with an additive that they add to feed for cattle, which supposedly reduces the methane that they produce by up to 50%. It's basically seaweed with a couple of other things. They're adding seaweed to it.
Is that a natural cow diet?
Well, that's
a lot of cows by the beach.
So this is now it was approved, I think, back in May by the FDA to be used in the United States. It is primarily, at least here in the US, primarily going to be used by dairy farmers because the methane emissions from cattle are higher when they're being fed grain. One of the ways, the easiest way to reduce methane, which they claim is horrible and it's the leading cause of greenhouse,
it's just to let them be out on pasture.
It's to let them be out on pasture. So grass-fed.
Coincidence?
Now, all cattle is grass-fed. We've talked about this, right? But when they begin eating grain, that's what starts producing more methane. So if you want a reason to eat grass-fed, grass-finished, it's to avoid cattle that would be fed this new additive in their feed.
Right, because that is totally an indicator that they're mostly grain-fed.
But right now, it's primarily being used by dairy farmers because many dairy cows eat a lot of grain. Because, when you look at, they'll spend a portion of their life out on the farm, but then they move in and now, they get them pregnant and now they're living in a stall getting milked all the time and they're being fed a lot of grain. So that's where they're giving them this new additive.
I would be interested to see what some large animal vets think about this, because you're just hearing like, well, this is what we're doing from like an environmental standpoint. So environmentalists, I think, are making these decisions. This is not like, hey, we've got a problem within the vet community with the we've got hands on the animals, and so we've from that group made this situation. It's not like they've made the supplement. It's basically like the environment saying, hey, we have to cut down on gas, and we that are not veterinarians are going to make this product. I have a feeling that most vets, this is just my guess, is going to be like, oh my gosh, just give it to him to shut him up.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's not necessary, but that's what they're going to suggest.
The whole thing with the methane, and it's all a bunch of propaganda.
Jeez.
Okay, and again, I said it last week, I have my own personal opinions, which I will not discuss online because I don't want to.
We want to keep the channel.
I want to keep the channel, right? But the thing is a lot of this don't eat meat is a bunch of propaganda, and it's not to save animals, and it's really not even to save the environment. It's a lot of propaganda. So if people have messaged like about eating grass-fed, grass-finished, the only reason for me to not eat, and I do eat a lot of grain-finished beef, I think grain-finished beef tastes better. The only reason to avoid, in my opinion, is the grain-fed would be because of not them eating grain, but the source of the grain. So is it GMO free? Is the corn that they're being fed GMO free?
I heard that too.
That's the only thing that I would ever concern myself with. Next one is from Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
I'm trying to find the beef butter bacon down below in the description. Okay, so it's down below in the description. Next one is from Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn.
Another great keto beyond the couch. I pray someday that the U.S. will ban seed oils, but until then, I will do my best. I can to not eat them.
I think we're on the precipice of at least the discussion beginning.
I don't think you're ever going to see the banning of seed oils because of the money. I think that I do not want to get political. So I think you're going to have to have some major regulations to, I think the only way you're ever going to get rid of this kind of stuff is to ban lobbying, which I don't think is ever going to happen. I think that there is too much money involved. And I think it's interesting that you are seeing more and more people talking about seed oils are bad that are not in the keto space.
Right.
But remember how seed oils were sold to us. Seed oils were sold to us as this is a heart healthy oil.
This is medicine.
So until you have our government and the FDA coming out and stop saying saturated fat is bad for you, you're not going to see seed oils go away. Because the alternative to seed oils would be fats that are high in saturated fat. Now, we all know saturated fat is the best fat you can consume. But they're still touting this nonsense that saturated fat is bad for you. And what fat source are you going to use that is not high in saturated fat? Because the best fats are going to be animal fats.
Well, and some people are going to immediately, because just think of the textbooks, the brochures, the websites that are going to have to be changed, like just the paperwork alone to begin changing people's minds. It's daunting. This is going to be a daunting task. That's why this boots on the ground effort that like we are participating in, you are participating in, of just like family to family getting rid of the seed oils is actually going to move it along faster than it coming from like government agencies down, because it cuts through all of the red tape. It cuts through all the discussion. It's basically like, hey, I think if you just throw out that corn oil and you start using beef tallow, you're going to feel better. And you just do it, and then you do feel better, and then now it's over. There's not a lot. I don't have to send a video to you. I don't have to convince you in a million different ways. I don't have to deal with your doctor. It's just me to you trying it, done.
The other thing we have to remember is that a lot of farmers, if you stopped a lot of the seed oil, it would hurt a lot of farmers because a lot of farmers in the United States are literally paid
To
to
grow it
grow corn and soybean.
for
Now,
this crop.
that's unfortunate because they're not good foods for us. I mean, soybeans are really horrible for us. But we have this conundrum of like we need to find something better for them to grow that our
Right.
government is willing to pay them.
Exactly.
You know,
The
because
switch
we
out.
know that the corn and the soybeans, especially the soybeans, are horrible. And that's where I get into this whole idea of vegans who tell us that it's healthier for us, but so many of the products you're eating are made with soybeans, which is not good for your
No.
bodies. That's why I'm
No.
like, do not tell me it's healthier. If you want to do it because you love animals, great.
But we'll have to
But it's
fill
not
the
healthier.
void. It's kind of like where we say stop doing this certain habit, but you've got to fill the time with something.
Next one we have is Anonymous. So
Hey,
I
Anonymous.
actually changed the name on this because I don't want anybody reaching out and freaking out on this person. So it says, we are doing a DIY trizipatide bought directly from a research site, about $100 a month, not $1,000 a month. Watch many peptide channels for the how and where to buy. So I see a lot of people are asking about this stuff. There's a lot of things that show up on Facebook from Hims and Get Hers and Row and all these different companies that are selling you weight loss things.
Mm-hmm.
What are they? Should you do them? In my personal opinion, and we are not doctors or health professionals, I would still avoid them. What are they? They are compound pharmacy versions of Wegovy, Ozempic, and all of those major weight loss drugs.
Now, what is a compound pharmacy?
A compound pharmacy is where you basically have a pharmacy put together a bunch of ingredients and try to duplicate the Ozempic. You know, now certain things are good with compound pharmacies where they take two different ingredients and they mix them together. They'll put them in a paste. When I had some of my oral surgeries done, I needed to go on a medication that you got from a compound pharmacy. What they're doing is you have Ozempic and Wegovy and all that, and you have the active ingredients. When these companies come out with drugs, they are the drugs, you know, they spend a lot of money to make the drug, and they only have, I think it's 4 years before they lose their patent. Then you have generic versions of it. Basically, what these compound pharmacies are doing is they're making their own generic versions.
A look-alike.
The problem is this is twofold. Number one, it is still off-label use. So Ozempic, Wegovy, all them, it is not designed for weight loss. At being prescribed for weight loss is off-label use. It has not been clinically tested. The clinical testing is going on right now in the fact that people are using it, and then the doctors are supposed to report back to the companies side effects they see. When you get into these compound pharmacies that are selling online, all of them, the problem is they're not under the FDA. So it's not being monitored.
And I'm not like the biggest fan of the FDA right now, but they are having eyes on something. Now you're talking about pharmacies that are making something with no eyes on it.
Yeah. And so again, like you said, you're not a big fan of the FDA. Like, I think that they have some good things and some bad things. But in this one, I would follow their advice, and that is to avoid these companies that are selling these cheap weight loss things, because the bigger problem is you're not really under medical supervision. Okay, it concerns me where I can go to a website
or an affiliate link.
Well, I can go to a website, and there's a lot of them. I can go to a website, fill out a quick medical questionnaire. No lab tests, no blood tests, no nothing, and they will send me this drug if I just pay them $100 a month. And then they have a nurse or a DO who's going to message you back. But you're not under direct medical supervision from your doctor. There are a lot of side effects to these drugs. People talk about peptides. That's only one aspect of it. There are a lot of major side effects to these drugs that we don't know the long-term implications at the doses that are being prescribed. And the other problem with that is, even on, and I will not say the name of the company, but I did a lot of research with one of the biggest companies that is doing this, where you can get this compound pharmacy version of Ozempic. It says right on their website, 70% of the people who use this will gain all of the weight back when they go off
Stop
of it.
using this. So even though it's a cheaper version, like $100 is like they're
Because
saying
it's not the
is not
official
a
version.
thousand, but number one, it is not just a peptide. It is not just that.
No.
And you will gain the weight back when you stop paying this $100.
Well,
a
they're
month.
saying up to 70% of they're saying 70% of the people.
So if we're trying to
and then you've
play
got
the
long-term
lottery,
implications of if you're going to stay on this the rest
so
of your
you're
life.
risking yourself,
Right.
right? And then also, are you able to kind of prescribe for yourself like how much you're going to add of this? So like you get it.
They mail it to you in either a pill form. A lot of them are coming in injection form and tell you this is how much you're supposed to take.
So you are
But usually it's
dosing.
You're self-dosing, and then they'll, after 4 weeks, you have to increase it, and then they tell you how much more to increase it. But you can easily increase it on your own because they generally give you a little bit of extra of it. There's also the semi-gratitude version. If you were going to do it, I would go with that one because that one has less side effects, but still major side effects. You know, and they're going to tell you, well, this one, the trizepatide, will actually, they see it results in like 10% more weight loss. But again, you're not under medical. If you're going to do this, do it the right way and go to your doctor.
Can I just say I get it?
I get it too.
I get it. I get the heartache of wanting to be like, can I take a freaking shortcut? I have been lifelong dieting, trying to dump this weight. I'm so frustrated. It's just the last 20 pounds. Can I please just get it off faster than what this keto is doing? I'm just so frustrated. I feel like this is just, I'm just aggravated. I get it.
I'm just looking in the comments. Like John said, insurance usually won't cover off-brand use. Yeah, so like all these companies, they don't take insurance.
So they're just saying, hey, it's cheap. So what
Right.
we've done is like we're the cheap knockoff version. So we're making it affordable.
And getting your insurance company to cover Ozempic or something like that, it takes your doctors wording things certain ways. John said, isn't this the same as Ozempic? You get it back. Yes. Cindy said, from what I've heard about these drugs, you do have to continue them for life, for that success to ongoing. You have to keep increasing it. The problem is when you go on this, there's Ozempic, when used as originally intended, is really a miracle drug. What it actually was made to do, it is a miracle drug. But it's like the little blue pill. It wasn't designed to give men erections.
Right. That was not what they were making it for.
It was a side effect.
Yes.
You know, and they're like, oh, well, we can make more money selling it this way than as a heart medication.
Yes, because what do people care more about?
And that's what's happening with these. These were diabetes medications. And now they're going, oh, well, we've discovered you'll lose weight if we up the dose like 10 times. But again, we don't know the long-term implications, but you are seeing more and more people with major implications. But one of the problems is losing up to 50% of your muscle mass. So what happens is when you go off of it, you've lost the main thing that drives your metabolism. So you already have not been eating, and they're finding it's helping people, you know, with getting off of addictions and everything else.
Yeah, they're using it for heroin addicts.
When you look at, like, you're losing up to 50% of your muscle mass, which is and I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to eat enough protein and work out enough to do that. Like, because you lose your desire to eat.
And I understand if you're somebody who's like a lifelong heroin addict, that is such an issue, like no kidding, medical issue and like life quality and your family and all of this sort of thing, that I could say, okay, if it's heroin that we're fighting, then I'm willing to have the loss of muscle mass or the fallout, because addicted to heroin, I have no life. I'm endangering my family. Like I can't go to work, like all of those kind of things. Now let's look at it for, I'm trying to do weight loss.
But that's all off-brand use too.
I understand, but
use.
But for weight loss, does that seem reasonable to risk?
Yep.
Like at the same point as somebody that's trying to use it for like heroin, like off-label for heroin addiction? Like, remember, it's weight loss.
Yeah.
Remember, it's just weight loss. I want to put that just in there. It's just weight loss.
Yeah.
It's not.
And again, if you
heroin
are
addiction.
using it, I'm not judging anybody,
shame.
no shaming, but I would not personally use it because, again, I worry about all of the major side effects. I even think about the fact that one of the things it does is it helps your body produce more insulin. So, like, I don't want my insulin going up. Thank you very much. So, but we'll move on. And again, it's just, I would not use it, but I do want people, if you're going to use one of these companies, thoroughly research, but I would not, I honestly, the problem is you're not really undergone, you're doing something using a drug that's still technically in testing, and you're not being really seen by a doctor.
No, you're just getting it from a person. So I also would like to advise before we move on, do not get a tattoo from a man that's just going around in a van selling a tattoo.
Next one is from Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
I have two questions. Is it okay to drink chocolate salty at night to up electrolytes, or does the caffeine negate the good effects? Also, what is your opinion on grass-fed dairy? How important is that? Okay, I don't think there might be a smidge of caffeine in chocolate salty or chocolate element because there's caffeine in chocolate. I think you'd be exposed to more caffeine walking down the street past the Starbucks
Smelling
when the door opened up. I mean, it's just, I think that that would be such a negligible amount of caffeine because there's such a tiny amount of chocolate actually in there. It is not something I would worry about. So drink your chocolate salty at night. If there is any caffeine, which I'm sure there is, it's going to be such a tiny amount. It's not going to do anything to you. As far as grass-fed dairy, grass-fed dairy is kind of interesting. So again, remember what we said, all cattle is fed grass. Dairy, if you're going to buy milk, like dairy milk, I would try to stick to organic because they have different laws.
Standards.
Okay. But even to be for organic dairy, the cow has to spend a third of the year on pasture. But they can still be fed grain, but a third of the year. If you're going to buy, this would be another reason to go local farmer. Okay. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to buy, if you're looking for grass-fed only dairy, what you want to do is look for the labels. Don't just look for organic. There's less labeling guidelines for grass-fed dairy than there is for organic, which is kind of scary. Like, they can just slap labels on there. There are a couple of companies in grocery stores that on their own really have tried, forget the name of it right now. I can't think of the one. It's like I think it's actually grass-fed milk or something like that. And they've actually put together their own coalition that these dairy are only ever fed grass. Even when they're inside, they're just being given hay and grass and they're never given grain. There's not a huge amount of benefits to it. I mean, to me, if you can get it, it's going to be always better for you because, again, the problem is what's in the grain. It's not the grain itself.
And if you're going to buy local, what my recommendation is going to be is go to the farm.
Farmer.
Go to the farm. Visit the farm. Like, you want to see, like, if you're getting locally sourced milk, ask them for a farm tour because, again, you need to see, like, what's their cleanliness practices. Like, what does it look like? There is obviously a trend to, like, go to farmers markets and get milk and that kind of stuff and eggs and stuff. But, I'm not afraid if somebody gets eggs from us. If we give eggs, they can come to this farm and see how we treat our chickens, our livestock, right? You want to see, like, is this place clean? I'm eating from this place, right? I'm drinking the milk from these cows. Like, so I think it's important that somebody's transparent enough as a farmer, if you're going to get your dairy from there, that you can go and visit that place.
Do the best you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Major in the majors, minor in the minors. 90% is good enough. If you can't afford grass-fed dairy, if you can't afford grass-fed, grass-finished meat, it's still better than eating the pasta, the grains, the carbs, the sugar.
You're doing great.
Eating 100% grain-fed feedlot cattle would be better than eating the processed food and garbage that you find in the stores.
You're doing a good job. Just know that.
Next one is from Mary.
Hey, Mary.
If I am allergic to stevia in past experience after using sores in my mouth and bleed from the bottom, so I won't with this product? ? So talking about the stevia that's in salty.
Mhm.
So the stevia that's in salty is stevia glycosides. It is a purified version of stevia. Basically, what they were doing is they removed the sweetness aspect from it, and that's what they're using instead of the whole leaf. So many people who have ragweed allergies, they are allergic to stevia
Right.
because stevia is a weed. I mean, basically, any plant that grows in the wrong place is a weed,
Right.
right? You can have a tulip, could be a weed. Because if it grows, if you didn't plant it there and it just grew there in the middle of your garden and you never planted it, it's a weed.
I love that weed.
But I left an article down below. It's a blog post from Salty explaining in much greater detail, because Chris Bear is much smarter than I am, what stevia glycoside is, what Reb A is, what Reb B is, the differences. Now, I'm not going to tell you you are never going to have an allergy attack if you have stevia, if you have a ragweed allergy. I'm telling you that many people who do have a ragweed allergy can use stevia glycosides. It's up to you to whether you're not willing to do an N=1 experiment.
Right.
You know?
You may want to wait until you go to a conference or something where they're like, giving it out, like samples of it, or you may just want to buy the smallest form of it. Like, I think they sell those little packs.
I don't know.
If they do, you may want to start there. I wouldn't be like, well, I'm going to buy the $300 deal from Salty right now and really get that, shipping. If you don't know, you're not going to have a reaction to it.
Next one we have is from Patty.
Hey, Patty.
I vote yes for grape salty.
Patty, we're friends. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that Patty's done this to me.
That would be amazing. Next one's from Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
Hello, fellow Alliance owners.
Well, hello.
I clicked on this video for the pork belly brisket, but enjoyed just coming along with the walkthrough. And flock love as we prepare our Alliance Valor fifth wheel to move back home to the north coast of Oregon after spending time with our family the past few days.
Wow.
I only put this up here because people have asked us, like, why do you have two channels and why do you go back and forth? This is why.
Yeah.
Okay? Because our whole desire is, again, to encourage people to live life beyond the couch. As you get healthy, do something with it.
Right.
But our thing is what if we brought this over into the RV lifestyle, if we bring it into a homesteading lifestyle and have a channel there, maybe, just maybe, they'll see something.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, you mean there's a better way.
I love it. And speaking of RVs, we are going to be at the Florida RV Super Show that's happening in January 2025. I know it's like, wow, we're already talking about January of 2025 because it's coming. It's coming fast, y'all.
Couple left. Next one's from Olga.
Hey, Olga.
Do they, Salties, break a fast? Depends on what you're fasting for. For the most part, I would tell you, if you should be doing some electrolytes on a fast, especially salt. If you are doing electrolytes, if you're doing a fast, I don't personally have a problem with salty. The only place where you might have an issue would be because technically it could have a carb, right? Now, salt is going to be the lowest in total carbs because they're using gum acacia. The only problem where some people may have an issue is something called the cephalic insulin response, which is where your body releases a slight amount of insulin because you tasted something sweet and it's anticipating you consuming sugar.
Does Olga know for fact that she has that?
No, there's no way to test yourself for
right.
it. Okay. I think it's a very small thing, and if using salty helps you get through a fast, have at it. What we do is when we fast is we just switch over and use capsules.
Electrolyte drops, the capsules. You can use Clean Slate. People were asking for beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. What do we do for electrolytes? That's where we go because we're trying to get rid of the sweeteners during the 30 days. And I just want to emphasize it's 30 days. It's not the rest of your life. It is 30 days. And so for those 30 days, we just switch over to not something that doesn't have a sweetener in it or flavor in it.
Technically, anything other than water and salt is going to break a fast. If you really want to get
black coffee
breaks a fast.
Yeah.
Now you're going to see a lot of people go, no, it doesn't. It has calories. I mean, now it's only 4 calories. But it does have calories. Coffee has carbs.
It's not 4 calories if
Most
it's
people
my
don't know
cup.
that. So there's just less than a carb in a cup of coffee, and a cup of coffee is 8 ounces.
That is a lie from
Okay.
the devil.
And that is another reason on Beef, Butter, Bacon, Egg when they talk about one coffee experience, because if you're like Rachel, who is drinking 1 cup of coffee but several throughout the day,
Shots fired.
and her 1 cup is usually 16 ounces, that means every cup of coffee has right around 2 carbs. And at one point, she was drinking like 2 to 3 pots of coffee a day. So at the end of the day, she was consuming about 30 carbs a day in just coffee.
I feel attacked just because my cup of coffee looks like the tasty air fryer basket size. Like,
Yeah.
I think you should ignore it, Joe.
Okay.
And move on. Now, somebody did ask, when it comes to triple B and E and coffee, can we have it in the morning? Can we have it at the coffee experience in the evening? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. You get 1 a day. If you would like to spend it in the morning, go for it. If you want to spend it in the evening, go for it. What is the size of the coffee experience of your day? That 1 cup of coffee? It's up to you. Jackie from Jackie's Jinx Journey years ago got me a joke mug that was like, I'm down to just 1 coffee a day, and it's bigger in my head. So if that's your coffee experience, it's up to you to police yourself. We're not going to come and like go through your kitchen cabinets and get rid of every, Elmo mug that is oversized.
Last one is from Carol.
Hey, Carol.
58 degrees is cold. It's been dropping down to below freezing here in southern Ontario. 58 degrees, what I would consider t-shirt weather.
I know, but we're in South Florida.
We're in South Florida.
If you were going to the
40
beach,
degrees last night.
If you were going to the beach,
What did we wake up to 43 this morning?
I had to call my mom. We're that many years old, Joe, that like me and my mom are talking back and forth of like, what's the temperature like there? Oh, and also, what is the temperature like back in Coconut Creek? Because I want to look up both temperatures and compare them. Who does that in their 20s? Nobody. Nobody is checking that. My children are just like, ooh, cold. It's cold. Let me put on a sweater. I'm like, I want to research temperatures around the world. That's grandmother behavior. That's how you know it. You don't even need the baby. You just need to want to find out degrees and compare them.
Lady Fritzer said chronometer says my 60-ounce coffee has 2.2 carbs.
That's a lie.
It isn't a lie. Don't say that.
That is a lie.
It's a lie.
Can't
It's
be true.
you're denying. Okay, let's get into some comments.
I'm starting my own Wikipedia page of what is the fact, and the fact is there is no calories or carbs in coffee. I'm creating my own dimension, my own fantasy land to live in, Joe. Will you visit me there?
I will visit you.
Thank you.
I saw something from Donna. If I can find it.
We never got to sing happy birthday to Donna Joe. You're talking about Donna Joe's here?
Yes.
Because her birthday was the same birthday as like Joe, but she was doing stuff that night. So let's sing happy birthday. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Donna Joe. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many more.
Okay, so Donna Joe said the Keto Chow website is removing my 2KK 10% discount. When I click on the checkout tab from the summary page, I've tried several times. It saves my reward credits out. Okay, so first of all, we're still in the Black Friday sale. So the 2KK discount doesn't really apply. You can't stack it on top of
Dang it.
The sale. So that doesn't matter. Now, I don't know about Keto Chow. I mean, I know she's addressing this, Miriam, but I don't know if Miriam's still in here. But a lot of online retailers, because of the programs and platforms they use, do not allow you to stack reward credits on top of coupon codes. And I know it is very frustrating. So I have found that for myself as well. Like, I will buy something and it gives me rewards, but I never actually use the rewards because then I find a coupon code that's worth more than the rewards.
Kohl's Cash.
What I do is I just keep building up the rewards to the point where I have like $100 and I can make the item free, because it'll be like, well, I found this 25% off coupon, and if I'm buying something for $100, that takes $25 off, but I have $15 in rewards. But the 25% off coupon is better than the $15 in rewards. So I'm not sure if Keto Chow is that way, but that is how a lot of companies are, is that if they're not, it usually doesn't apply to sales, but it applies to coupon codes. Because what happens is the systems use the same thing. Like they basically take rewards and turn it into a coupon code, and you can't have more than one coupon code.
I just realized why my family likes this villainous game. And that is you have these quests and you want to use certain cards, but there's all of these circumstances. Like you can play this if this ally is present and you're on this land and you're this. It's because we're couponers, Joe.
Yeah.
It's because we're always reading the fine print anyway to see how can this best help our family, but you have to be conscious of all of the things in play when you're trying to use a coupon, right? Like how many, limit of how many, what day can you use it? Like what is it in conjunction with? That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what the children don't even know that they were raised in a couponer's household, and that is why this game is appealing to them.
Yeah, I mean, we used to say like 3,000. No, we were those crazy coupon people that you used to see on TV who ruined couponing
Sorry
for
everybody else.
We didn't ruin it for that show ruined it.
Yeah,
because they were also doing things that were breaking coupon rules, and then
what I never understood was like buying, like I just bought like a warehouse of cat litter and diapers because it was free, and I have no cat and I have no baby. I never understood that.
But we used to get like we'd get a lot of feminine things because you would get them literally for free and then go donate them to shelters.
You could but they're not donating
no,
them. Remember,
there were a lot of people just doing it for the heck of it. I'm like, what's the point?
Speaking of cat litter, when I was talking to my mom this morning about the temperature outside, she goes, "Oh, look, there is a black cat that is coming to my yard sitting in a sunlight ray, like warming him or herself because it's cold out." And she goes, "All right, so, remind me, I'm going to have to put cat food on the grocery list." And I'm like, well,
don't do that.
I'm like, wait, what is...
You're going to attract raccoons.
I was like, wait a second. Now,
you live in the country,
well, she'll just put it out to like show them and then she'll take it back in. She knows but I just thought it was funny. It was like, a neighborhood cat is coming now. I also have a cat.
Nice.
I thought that was cute.
Sarah said, would a pot of tea drank at one time be an experience?
Yes.
Yes, it would be.
Yes, it would be, Sarah Joy. And I like the way you think, young lady.
Eileen said, I'm going to do my best I can for beef, butter, bacon, egg, but I have a January birthday and a 1-week trip to Florida. I have to learn to just say no.
That's the thing. You can also extend it for yourself. Joe and I are going on a cruise in January, just me and him. I cannot promise you that I am not going to eat a wedge salad during that month. Now I'm going to try my best for that week, but
I'm planning on it.
But if I have to extend my personal triple B and E experience into February in order to make this work, I shall do that thing.
Right. John said, I think Chris mentioned the other day, the new formula of salty has less gum acacia and only like 0.2 carbs per serving now. But if you are fasting, I recommend getting the unflavored version. Yeah, again, if you want to be true to a fast, I would do unflavored. But I just, again, especially with salty, because they're using gum acacia, it's such a minuscule amount, I would not worry about it.
It's hard for me to lean into quite the minutia when I feel like we've talked about this, then there's like another level of minutia that like there is to handle. And my brain can only handle so much. Like, how many angels can dance on the head of this pin?
Risa said, my 64th birthday is on Wednesday, the day I'm getting all my Black Friday purchases.
Yay.
Great gifts to me, new Keto Chow Salty. Can I get a happy birthday, as I probably won't be here on
Yes,
Thursday?
absolutely. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Risa. Happy birthday to you. And many more. So many more. Happy birthday. 64 years young. I love it. 64 is not what it used to be. I remember talking to Nurse Cindy about being 66. At the time, she was 66 years old. I think she's had a birthday since then. And she was like, she was reading something and it showed like an old ship captain. Like it had like, it was like, here's the ship and here's like a picture of the captain that captained that ship, and he died at the ripe old age of like 66. He looked like Methuselah. And she looked and she was like, 66 is not this. I am not this.
Right.
I'm 66. I am not this. No, 66 is not this.
Right.
Like, it's so interesting when you see that I've seen some things on Instagram where it's showing you how old an actor was when they played a certain part. and it's somebody that like we respect now. Like it was, it's like a, even like Kirk Douglas or something. I know he's passed on now, but like you'll look at somebody from they look like they're 40 or 50 at the time, and it was like no, they were like 20.
Right.
They look like they were 50 at the time, but they're 20 years old in this movie. They were playing the father, they were playing the grandfather, but they were young.
Right.
It was like I'm in high school age, but I look like I'm 65.
Next one's from Juliana.
Hey,
She
Juju.
said grass-fed versus big beef is 5% or less nutrition.
But
If you buy local and or grass-fed, you're voting with your money for regenerative farming and ethics. Nutrition-wise, buy what you can buy.
Sure.
Yep, completely agree. To me, it's always best to buy local to support our local farmers. But do the best you can. We buy local as much as we can, but we spend a lot of money on special beef. You know.
what and I'm going to say that if you're looking to change policy, it's the dollars that turn the heads of companies.
Yep.
So the less of that we buy, like less garbage we buy, then they're like, well, if there's no money to be made here, we're going to abandon this cause and we're going to find some other way to make money because we're in this to make money. We're not in this. Like when you think about seed oil companies, like how do you change seed oils? Stop buying it. If you stop buying it, if there's not a market for it, then they won't make it because they're not in the seed oil business because they think it's heart healthy. They're marketing to you so you'll buy it. They're in the making money business, and right now business is good.
Right.
Right?
Next one from Visual Keto.
Hey, what's up, bro?
I'm in Iowa. There's a YouTuber named Iowa Dairy Farm. I'm going to have to keep an eye out in case he discusses feed additives for methane reduction.
That'll be interesting to see. I will like to see this on, not in the factory farming area, but in the local regenerative, just regular old farmer. Like, is it something that they're going to invest in because they think that it gives them a competitive edge or makes their cows better?
Juliana said, I have a friend on it right now. I'm talking about, like, I guess it was epic. She said she's not working out. She's eating like 700 calories and so excited. I have gently tried to explain she's not gaining muscle, but her muscle percentage goes up. There's a lot of ways to fool those DEXA scans. I'm just leave it at that. I mean, listen, so you're only eating 700 calories. So you're already affecting your metabolism on that side. And then you're not eating enough food, you're not working out, there's no way for your body to maintain the muscle mass. Anytime you lose weight, you're losing fat and muscle. One of the cool things about keto is you're losing less muscle. But if you don't eat, your body will cannibalize the muscle. It will.
So there used to be like this like trash talk that a kid would say to another kid, and they'd say, your mother wears combat boots. Remember that? Your mama wears combat boots. So Caleb and Anthony and John Paul were like, my mama does wear combat boots. That is a fashion statement that came out of like, 80s, 90s girl, when I was going to school and it was made popular. And so I still wear Doc Martens. Is it age appropriate for me to continue wearing my Doc Martens, wearing my combat boots? Like, that is going to be up for debate. Some people are going to say, like, you should not wear that thing, and let me explain why it is foolish for you to do that. It is silly, okay? I am not taking their opinions into account. I am only listening to the people who are saying to me, don't you look so cute in your combat boots? Why? Because I don't want to change. I like what I am doing. And so anybody that tells me don't wear combat boots like you're a grown freaking woman, I'm not listening to them. So don't feel bad if you're telling somebody like, have you considered the side effects of what you're doing? Maybe it's not the greatest decision. And they're like, thank you so much, but you're not invited into this aspect of my life. That doesn't mean that you're not crafting your concern in an articulate way. It's just that they're not taking opinions in that area of their life, right?
Yeah. Andrew said combat boots said Rachel cosplay as Daria.
Obviously.
Okay, we are going to get off, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, use the links down below. Go back over to the Black Friday stuff. There's some other things. We greatly appreciate your support for the channel. It really does, excuse me, help us to run the channel and pay for cameras and internet and everything else. I mean, it's like I look at like you have to have 3 forms of internet to always have a backup and everything else. So we really do appreciate it. We will be back live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and Rachel will be back this week to do
Yes, and Mighty Network.
Wednesday, 10 a.m.,
10 a.m.
Mighty Networks things. If you're a member of our Meathoods or higher group, head on over to Mighty Networks at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. It is always available on replay as well. But again, that is only for the paid subscribers over there on Mighty Networks. But we really do appreciate you guys. We will be back on Thursday at 8:30 Eastern. Have a good evening.
We love you.